easy enough. You don't need one, but we'll see. If we need one, we'll get one out. Here we go. Number 1. This is section 8.1. Find the center and radius. Now, the circle that is given to you. Now, see, I know that's a circle because I'm old. You need to get used to things that look like this are circles. In this little chapter unit that we're going to do, we're going to look at 4 shapes. The circles, the parabola, which we've kind of already looked at, the ellipse, which is an oval, and the hyperbola, which looks like the reciprocal function. Got a branch here and a branch here. This is a circle, so take a look at that equation, see what that looks like. You're not going to get that confused with a line, right? Lines are y equals mx plus b. So right now, all we have are lines and circles, so we're not going to get those mixed up. The center of this circle is at 1, -2. Now, how did I get that? It's the opposite of what's inside the parentheses. In x, comma, y. The radius of the circle is 4. Now, before you say anything, I want you to think about the work that you just did on the quest you took. Weren't there times where we had to use the idea x squared plus y squared equals r squared? That's what you have here. You have x squared, you have y squared, and this guy is r squared. So if 16 is r squared, then r, the radius, must be 4. That's pretty easy. Look at the second one. Your job is to tell me where is the center and the radius. So where's our center? -3, +2. Everybody got it? Where's my radius? The square root of 18, which is 3√2. Please remember, this number right here is always r squared. X squared, y squared, r squared. So to get the radius, you have to take the square root of it, even if it's not a perfect square. That seems pretty easy, doesn't it? Well, look at the next one. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's a circle, believe it or not. But it sure doesn't look like this, does it? So guess what you get to do? Make it look like this. Now, Miss Ford, how are we going to do that? Anybody have an idea? You know how to do it. And one of your thoughts is, let's group the x's together. So let's go ahead and put the x terms together, put the y terms together. So I'm simply rearranging things. It's perfectly legal. Rearranging so the x's and y's are together, right? Now, I need to have something that looks like this. I need a squared quantity. We are going to complete the square. But we're going to have to do it twice, because we need to do it with our x's and we need to do it with our y's. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to rewrite it, but I want you to put a blank after that x term, because I'm going to put a number there. Remember how we did that? We figured out something, we added it to both sides. We're going to do that, but we're going to do it here too. And then you have to add both of those to the other side. I'm out of room. Does everybody see that? I have to add whatever blanks I have on this side, I'm going to have over here on this side. I can add it to both sides. Now, someone impress me. How do we figure out what to add in that blank?
Divide by 2.
I take half of this, so what's half of 4? 2, and then I square it, which is positive 4. So that gets added to both sides of the equation. So Colleen, remember that? You take half of this and square it. So I'm going to do the same thing here. What's half of 8?
4.
4 squared?
16.
16. So I'm going to put a 16 on both sides. Now you did that so that this X grouping could be written as a square. What square is this X thing here with the brace thing under it? What is that? What? X. Any idea? X equals minus 2. X minus 2. And for those of you that don't know what X minus 2. So the square root is X, the square root is 2, and it's being subtracted. So now I'm going to do my Y's. What are my Y's going to be? Well, I'm going to have a Y, I'm going to have a 4, and in between them is going to be a plus, Y plus 4. And that's going to equal all that added up, which is 26. You had a 6 to start with, you added a 4, and you added a 16. Now can you tell me my center and my radius? 2 negative 4 is my center. Square root of 26 is my radius.
So long.
Now we got 2 more. We'll do these last 2, and we'll be done for the day, okay? So here we go. Now we're on our new sheet, page 54. It's numbered page 54. All right, so here we go. Is this equation in the right form? Or am I going to have to do some stuff to it? I have to do some stuff to it. It is not in the right form. When I say the right form, I mean I have those parentheses squared, right? That's what I got to have. So what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to get rid of that 6. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and move the 8 over here with the x term. So I have x squared plus 8x plus y squared equals 6. Now look at that. Make sure you're following what I'm doing. Now this one's actually easier, but it seems a little tricky because there's no like y term on here, right? That's actually good news. That means you don't have to complete the square. The only one you have to complete the square on is the x. So what am I going to add to both sides? 16. Why am I adding 16? Half of 8 is 4. Squared is 16. So I'm going to add 16 to both sides. Biggest mistake that's made is kids forget to add it to both sides. Make sure if you put a blank over here, you put a blank over there. All right, this should be a square. What square is that? X plus 4. Now here comes the tricky part. Where's my center? Don't make it tricky. It doesn't have to be tricky. Where's your center?
4, 0.
At negative 4, comma 0. That's exactly right. Negative 4, comma 0. Why 0? Because there's nothing added or subtracted to the y. And why isn't there? Because in the original problem, there was no plain y term. Like there's a plain x term, there's no plain y term. So that means I don't have to complete the square on the y. What's my radius? Root 22. Perfect. Now I know this is the first day that you have done this, because I don't think you guys did this last year. So, I know it's a little tricky, but let's see how far you can get. There's only one more example in the notes here. Let's see how far you can get with this on your own. So think about the steps we've gone through, the process. What have we done to make this equation have squares? See how far you can get it on your own, and then we'll finish it together. We still have a few minutes. You got it done already this time? Yeah. Good. Clayton, you got it? Awesome, you guys are fast. Okay, Scotto, what should we do first? Well, I'm not really subtracting it. I'm still going to be adding it, but I'm going to move it over with the x so that my two x's are together. Now remember, you're only going to change the signs, make it a minus 4x, if you're moving it to the other side. You're not. You're just rearranging it. So it's x squared plus 4x plus y squared minus 4y equals 10. Is everybody okay with that step? We're going to complete the square, so we have to have our x's together and our y's together. All right, Kervin, you got that?
Yep.
So once you've done that, you're actually ready to complete the square. So that's when you want to rewrite it, but put in a blank. Every time you're going to complete the square. So you're going to complete the square on the x's. You're going to complete the square on the y's. You've got your 10 plus 2 more blanks. How does that look to everybody? I keep running out. That should all be one long line, but I'm out of room. Does that look okay to everyone? So now you're ready to actually complete the square. So here we go. Half of 4 is 2 squared is 4. So I'm going to put a 4 here and a 4 here. Remember, whatever you stick on the right, you have to put on the left, and vice versa. Half of 4 is 2 squared is 4. There's another 4. Now I got to come up with a square here. X plus 2, and then y minus 2 equals 18. Right?
Yeah.
So my center is where? Negative 2, positive 2. Everybody good with that? And my radius is the square root of 18, which reduces to 3 root 2. Huh?
Oh, man.
Actually learned something today.
Yeah, good. I like that. We learned something today. Now, here will be the trick. Remembering.